Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy, the Problem Child. Um, this is just a message to the old people out there, and I'm talking about people that's over the age of 35. Um, to the older folks out there. Boxing is over. Let's just face facts. Boxing is over. There is no point in boxing anymore. MMA has taken over the scene of boxing. Number one, MMA has taken over because those fighters don't run away from other fighters. Like, for example, in UFC, you have to fight the guy. There is no running. If you don't want to fight, Dana White will be happy to kick their asses out. Guaranteed. If you don't believe me, ask most of the guys. Ask most of the guys that's not in UFC no more. They've got kicking out because they don't want to fight no more. Or if they don't think you're good enough, they're going to kick you out also. That's reason number two. Reason number three. To me, if a guy get his face bashed in about 1,000 times and he falls to the ground, they're not going to wait till a 10 count just to make sure he's up, even though he fell about 4 times and the ref don't know what to do. The ref will stop the fight as soon as he's knocked to the ground and he's out. Ain't no 1, 2, 3, 4. So for me, in that case, it's safer than boxing. Number 4, they're not just punching face, 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 face. Or they're not kicking face, 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 face. Yes, they do aim at the face and the head, but also they're making sure that those guys are safe enough not to get these concussions and stuff like that. So in that point, it is safer because it's more than just somebody repeatedly hitting you in the face. Number 5, why the other reason it is also because in MMA, you actually know the guys. You get to know the guys. You get to interact with those guys. You get to see what they do behind the scenes. You see those guys fight more often than in boxing. Like, let's just say, for example, Amir Khan. You might see him fight in April. Then the next time you'll see him fight is January. Even though he just knocked somebody out in 79 seconds who is a no-name guy. And that's another thing about boxing. They fight a bunch of no-names. They run away from people. Like, instead of fighting for a guy, like, example, instead of fighting, like, Pacquiao, they'll go fight this guy named Custard or something like that. You know, they'll fight this guy named Custard, and they'll whoop his ass in the first round, but then they'll make it seem like it was a tough fight. It's like, seriously? Seriously? You just fought a guy named Custard. Or they'll fight, or like the David Hayes fight and the Harrison fight, where basically the fight, to me, it just seemed like it was just something wasn't right about the fight. And then they had speculation that Harrison put all his money on Hayes to win the fight. Doesn't anybody seem like that's fishy? You know what I'm saying? Boxing, people say boxing is a science, so is MMA. Of course, you don't want your fucking chest caved in. You know, so that's fact. Nobody wants to go in MMA fight and get their eye puffed up or their chest caved in from a punch or their kneecap dislocated in a fight. So how can you not say that MMA is not a science either? But this is to you guys. Boxing is over. We all realize boxing is like almost close to pro wrestling in that sense, meaning that they work around who they want to fight. It's a fix. You don't see the guys for like 12 years, and then all of a sudden they fight again. You know, the big fights, you got to pay $60 for a pay-per-view to see a bunch of no-names fight before you see the main event, and then the main event isn't even worth it. At least with MMA, you have even though the undercard fights are still well-known people and people that people still wants to watch, instead of just two guys that they thrown together from the amateurs and just said, oh, well, guess what? We need you to cover the fight. Anyway, that's my opinion. MMA has taken over. Face it, older people, it's done. And that Pettis kick was the best thing I have seen in a long time. even better than what I've seen in wrestling. A lot of people want to say that that the John Morrison flip on the Tyson Kidd was a great move. Nah, the Pettis kick was like something from a John Claude Van Damme, Jackie Chan movie, man. Off the gate, in the guy's mouth, knock him back. Fucking amazing. An amazing kick. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Andy Pettis cage kick. And I guarantee you will think this was an amazing, amazing move. I didn't see it coming when I watched it live. So this is your boy, The Problem Child. I've been wanting to address that to a lot of these older folks that keeps dissing MMA and saying MMA is garbage and MMA is like watching paint dry. Boxing is like watching paint dry. It's just like when I seen Pacquiao fight that African kid, and he stood up there balled up for 12 rounds. It was 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back. At least in MMA, we'll watch amazing fights and amazing battles in the cage. So tell me that. Why is it that boxing, they take 2 years before we see them fight again, and plus it's $60 to order the pay-per-view, and then the pay-per-view isn't even worth it? It's almost like pro wrestling, like the TLC that's coming up. You know, you sit up here and you got to pay $40 to watch it, and it winds up being total BS. Thank you. Again, this your boy, The Problem Child, saying peace, one love, and I'm out.